Hello everyone, my name is Tom de Beer. I am from Dutch-based blog called Dutch Tag. I sometimes got asked why I never done a video review and I decided to finally do that. I hope you guys like it. Feel free to give any feedback about the video if you want to. Throughout this video I will speak English even though I am Dutch. Don't blame on me if I miss any word or say anything wrong in English. After all, I'm not such a fluent speaker in English. Hope you all understand that. So Microsoft has just released Windows 10 to the public. Of course, as a Windows insider, I've been able to try it out from the very beginning. It's really interesting to see how much changes from the beginning to the end, and believe me, it is quite a lot that has changed. But finally, there is the definitive version of Windows 10, also known as both 10 to 40. It is the exact same version as the public will be able to upgrade to. So everything I'm going to tell you about today will be there when you start using Windows 10. So let's get started and take you through the feature that might be the most important one for many users, and that of course is the start menu. It came with Windows 7 but was replaced by the start screen in Windows 8. Microsoft wanted to take a whole new approach by creating an operating system that is made for tablets. A lot of people weren't happy with this change, so Microsoft felt like they needed to fix it. However, other people actually thought the start screen is a great enhancement. So what did Microsoft do? They combined some of Windows 7 and Windows 8 together, which results in an amazing feature, the return of the start menu of Windows 7 with some significant elements from Windows 8. And of course it looks like this. The first time you open that start menu, you'll notice that it has also those tiles that have been in Windows 8. You can see them at the right side here. There's the weather app, there is the Photos app, there's the Calendar app, there's Mail. Everything else you can find there, you could find in Windows 8. If you have been an active user of the start screen, or you still are an active user of the start screen, this will be a very helpful enhancement, and it's good to see that Microsoft doesn't just take away a feature from an older version. It's just there where you want it. Back to the start menu itself. The menu shows the most recent application you've been used, but also shows a few important shortcuts. There's File Explorer right here. And there's settings below that. And there's the power options, which allow you to shut down your PC or to put it to sleep, or of course to restart it. And finally, there is a shortcut to all apps. Once you click that, you can see every program you have installed to your computer. Sorry for that. So all apps here, you can scroll through the list. It is in alphabetical order, very handy to sort out all of the apps you have on your PC. Along with that start menu, Windows 10 comes with a modified taskbar. You might have noticed it at the start menu as well. It has translucency in it. It definitely looks like that Windows arrow effect from Windows 7. You can find it in the volume controls. You can find it at settings for the network. Right here, you can see it very clearly. The translucency effect gives you that extra sense of depth. I think it looks very cool and modern, mainly because it's with Windows 7 Apple did something very familiar and people like that as well. Next up, Task View. So people love using a lot programs at once. The problem here is that it sometimes gets so messy that we don't know where to find a specific program we have been using. That's where Task View hops in. Task View provides you with a bird's eye view of all programs that are active at the moment. You can see it right here. And of course, for the real multitaskers, there is another great feature. Now, when you click New Desktop, right here, you can open a second desktop. Heck, why not? Let's open a third desktop as well. This way you could, for example, have one desktop for web browsing, using personal email, one for work related stuff, and one specifically for gaming. Of course, you can easily delete them afterwards if you don't need them anymore, and you can hop back to your first desktop. Speaking of multitasking, remember those moments where you had to resize and drag the windows of your program so you could use more of them at once? Something like split screen multitasking. In Windows 10 it is easier than ever before to do that. Just drag a window like the documents here. Just drag it to the left side and you'll notice that there is a border here or some kind of a transparent overlay. It shows how the app will be placed on your window. Just close it and there you go. There's the window at the right size where you need it. If we also want to open, for example, iTunes at the right side, just click it. I just opened that window, so it's right there. I don't even have to search for it, it's there. And I click it and now I can use both apps. Of course I can drag them back or click the maximize button to bring them back. So it is a really nice enhancement. I think people are going to love that as well. The new Task View and Snap feature are great new ways to extend your experience in Windows 10. One of the most used things in Windows is Windows Explorer. Why is that? Well, it's because it's a hub for all your documents, photos, music, videos, hard drives, both internal and external, network shares, and more. In Windows 10, quite some changes have been made, although it doesn't really look like that. In fact, most changes are done to the interface of Explorer, and that is not bad at all. See, in Windows 8 there were a lot of things Microsoft didn't change from Windows 7 that could give the idea that Microsoft didn't finish it properly, even with Windows 8.1 and the update that came after that. In Windows 10 they finally did it right. All icons have been redesigned to match the rest of the operating system. Also, the quick menus you get when you right click on any folder have been redesigned. When you right click any folder or file, you get to see that quick menu. It just looks different, but it's also more consistent with the OS. It's a really nice enhancement, and it will give you the idea that they gave more time to Windows 10 to finish everything so that it looks much more polished, and that's really important, I think. There's much more of that kind of stuff in Windows Explorer, but as I mentioned earlier, some changes are so small that I'm not going to show it to you, and I will let you try it out yourself. One application that has been changed drastically since Windows 8 is the Settings app. Not a lot of people used it, but in Windows 10 it's actually purposed to replace the control panel. It is still there, the control panel, but every time you open a shortcut to a setting from control panel you will be sent to the Settings app. The Settings app comes with a hub once you have opened it up, showing you all most important settings categories actually, that brings you to the right options you need to enhance something, change something. The good thing is that most settings are indeed here, but I personally am no fan of it and might need some time to get used to it, and I think Other people will agree to that as well. But I do think as well that it will provide users with a more easy to use kind of control panel. A lot of people who aren't really into computers often are troubling with this kind of stuff. The new settings app will definitely take that issue away from for most people. Let me show you a few examples of these settings. So when we go to settings here, system here, we can see all those categories, the display settings. You can change the orientation, the size of the text and apps and other items, brightness, and there are settings for notifications, even though I never use them. Apps and features, battery saver. So let's get back to the previous page. Personalization. You can change the background, the colors, like for example the taskbar. You can see the change. It's a really easy way to change everything rather than having to go through control panel finding everything. In that way, the new settings app is actually a very nice enhancement. So that is the settings app. A lot of people blame Microsoft for providing them with such a bad browsing experience. Internet Explorer is known as the ugly duck of all browsers. Often jokes can be seen where Internet Explorer finds something out that has happened a few months ago. That's how slow it is according to those users. And I can't disagree with them. I am a proud user of Google Chrome, but with Windows 10, Microsoft introduces their all new browser called Microsoft Edge. This browser might replace Chrome for me, and to tell you why, I'd love to take you through this new browser. So let's start Edge. I already started it. So when we launch Microsoft Edge, you'll notice that it is black. However, by default, the color is actually white. You can change it easily by clicking this dotted button right here. Click Settings, and there you can choose a theme. I've chosen dark, but I can also choose for light. I go for dark because it's more consistent, I think. So let's get back. Microsoft claims that Edge is beating Chrome and Safari on their own JavaScript benchmarks. That is definitely a good sign. I'm not going to do any comparison tests here. However, I'm going to try a few sites. First, of course, my own website, Dutch tag. Enter. It's quite fast, I have to admit that. Next up, finally, iCloud.com. I know that it is a very slow website on Chrome. It might be faster on Edge. I will be very pleased with that. It is significantly faster. That is a very good thing. So Edge is more than just a browsing experience because now you can even draw and make annotations on a website. Want to make a screenshot or something? Sure, why not? It's all there right now. I usually would go for a snipping tool to make any screenshots, but Edge offers a tool to cut a part out and copy it to your clipboard. Let me show you all these new functionalities. So let's start with these drawing tools. When you click this here, make a web note, you get to see a purple bar in the top. By default, you see it has a blue marker, but I can also choose for a yellow highlighter, and I'm going for this blue one, of course. Let me draw something. Oh, sorry about that. Alright, it looks like we can't do that right here, so we're going to exit, and we're going to Google. From there, we're going to draw again, and so we can just click and hold to draw something. ugly writing, but I'm just trying here. I just mentioned that I can take a screenshot if I want. I just click this button here, clip, and I can drag to copy a region, and it's already copied. I can paste it, for example, in um, MS Paint, Control V, and there it is. If you're done with everything, you want to save it, of course. So I can just save this web node to any location, but I can also share it directly to Facebook, Mail, OneNote, or Twitter. If I'm all done with it, I've shared something, I have saved something, I can click exit to stop the drawing, to quit the drawing tools. Any modern web browser comes with a reading list enabling you to save a website to go to at a later moment. Microsoft Edge has a hub for that. It also shows your favorite website history and downloads. You can find it left of the button we used to open the draw settings. It's right here. Hub, favorites, reading list, history, and downloads. Just click it and there it is. Here are my favorites. Here's my reading list. Here's my history. And here, of course, are my downloads if I download something Chrome, as I can see. And I just click it again to close it. So that is Microsoft Edge. Since I have talked about the most important features in Windows 10, I am going to wrap it up. Windows 10 is an incredible upgrade for everyone, for users that love Windows 7 because of its start menu, and for Windows 8 users that loved its flat design and the tiles. And compared to Windows 8, everything seems far more polished. That alone will convince people to upgrade. The good news is that upgrading to Windows 10 will be free for a while, at least for users of Windows 7, Windows 8.1, and of course for Windows insiders who have been testing it. I hope you guys liked this video. If so, please give me a thumbs up. Any feedback, feel free to comment. Thanks everyone and have a good day.